Hello everyone, ockpii here, and today I have some more Cube World screenshots to discuss with you guys. There hasn't been much new information, but I have a few screenshots that have some relevant stuff, and they look really cool. Enjoy! Okay, so this is the first screenshot. As you can see, we have these weird light green trees that we haven't seen before. We see the potion crafting menu again, and this time there is a small gauge right to the side of this orange sword icon. This could be the power that it provides to the player, maybe it could be some sort of defense or some sort of attribute that it adds to the player. Also, as you can see to the left, just below the two bars, you can see that the spirit gauge is completely gone, and you can see that your teammates are below those little bars. So as you can see, Wooly is playing with Pixie, who I'm not sure exactly if she's a developer or I don't know, but she's got a Twitter and she posts some screenshots occasionally. So from now on, I'll include her Twitter as well. Also on the hotbar, as it were, you can see two bars, and maybe that's where the spirit gauge got transferred to. So now instead of having it sit by the two main bars with XP and HP, now it sits right in the middle. I'm not sure exactly why they would do that, but there are also two bars, so maybe there's a new power. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Also, pay attention to the maps this time around because there's a bigger variety of locations on this video. Moving on to the next screenshot, there's not really much to say about this time except there's a parrot. So we have a new mob here, and we also have a new hammer sort of axe thing. As you can see, it looks like a very tribal weapon, and the parrot makes me think, I wonder if there are friendly NPCs in this game, like friendly animals, because as of yet we've only seen mobs that can be killed or kill us, but we haven't really seen like friendly animals, so I'm not sure if that's exactly on the game. As you can see, this is Pixie's field of view, so we see Wooly on the sidebar there. On the next screenshot, they're on a cave. As you can see, the map's changed a bit, it's more rocky, and they're inside a cave, and you can see that they're locked onto a gold deposit. And this is kind of weird because Wooly said that there's no mining and building in this game, so maybe the gold deposits can be sold for merchants, or maybe you can actually use them to upgrade your weapons. If you remember correctly, on discussing Cube World number 1, I showed you guys a special crafting menu where the player was adding tiny voxels that would give certain attributes to the weapons. And as you can see on Wooly's back, he has a quiver. So now if you're an archer, you have the quiver of arrows. It would be interesting if he actually pulled the arrows out of the quivers before charging them. That would be really cool. And as you can see, the two bars are almost filled. I don't know why that is, but apparently you also have to attack the gold deposit to make it crumble or something. Moving on, this is just a cool screenshot that I wanted to show you guys because this is some really good coloring and some really good architectural cave design, and I really like this. Moving on to the next image, we have a different type of biome, this time on the Coantes Mountains, and we're on a snowland. As you can see, the trees themselves have snow, and they look really good. And we see, right in front of Wooly, a Yeti. And he has a two-handed weapon, he has a giant mace, and he's only level 1, and yet he has 2000 HP. However, it seems that a single arrow does 33 damage to him. Moving on to the next screenshot, we've changed biome again a bit, it's more jungly type thing, and we see that they've destroyed something that looks kind of like some eggs with something. I don't know, it's really weird, and we see them on another screenshot farther down the road. You can see that it's turning to nighttime, and right on the left there, really smoothly hidden, there's some sort of orc or goblin or something that's walking towards them. On the next screenshot, we see a beautiful nighttime sky, or really sunset, and it looks really good. The stars are the traditional Minecrafty squares, but the clouds are looking really good. They have much more depth than any game of the sort. As you can see, they also have layers of clouds that go downwards and not just upwards. And this screenshot shows you much more of a dense foresty type screenshot. As you can see, it's not just the occasional tree and plains, and this is actually the Altouma forest. Moving on to the next screenshot, we're on Altouma Hills, and we see a very interesting rock formation on the left there. It looks really interesting, and we see the clouds being lit up by the sunshine. We also have on the foreground these interesting flowers. I don't know if there's actually wind on the game for them to arch like this, but it would be interesting if there were elements like this, like wind, weather, if like that Unreal Shaders mod or something for Minecraft where there is sunlight falling from the tree branches and casts amazing shadows. Bit of a hassle to render, but it would look really cool. Also, we have a new creature that we can see more closely on the next screenshot, which is the radish creature. As you can see right above the name, they have a purple name as well. Lyra, radish creature. So maybe they actually have names. Maybe they are like mean tribes or something that you have to destroy or something. Because if you notice on the other creatures, there are only two creatures on this set of screenshots that have that special name. So I don't know exactly why that is. Maybe that's a special item that it has, and this is sort of a side quest. You have to kill him to get the Lyra. Interesting. Moving on to the next screenshot, you have Somero, plant creature. That's the other creature that has a different name, and he looks really cool. It kind of looks like Mr. Potato Man from Toy Story. Moving on, we have a new enemy. Actually, this one has a name as well. Mora. He's a hornet. It's a hornet, and you can see that the wings have no filling on them, which is kind of weird. And you see that the whole ground is lit up by the sunshine or sunrise, depending, which is actually very interesting. On the next screenshot, we see a Pixie holding her hammer and a torch, and we see something that I think neither of us would want to see when you're mining or exploring, which is this giant stone creature with just one eye and a fantastic great mace. He also has a weird thing on his hair. Maybe that's a button. Maybe you have to press that button instead of just mashing. That's something I'd like to see in this game, is not mindless combat. You know, I'm going to give the example of Skyward Sword, even though that wasn't exactly what you'd expect. It was still very good, but I mean like specific attacks that you have to do to counter specific attacks or defenses of the other enemies. That would be very interesting in this game. On the next screenshot, we're on a village, and as you can see, there's a small path for the players to go. The torches still look a bit dim. They don't look really bright, and there seems to not be any particle system for the torches as of yet. We're on Altuma Village, and as you can see, there are ice mountains right to the top left of the map there. As you can see, the sky is looking purpley, so that means it's nighttime. We can also see something lit up there. It seems like a sign of some sorts, or maybe that's just a tree. I wonder why it's illuminated like that. On the next screenshot, we see them coming to an inn that I looked at on the previous video. Moving on to the next screenshot, we see the exact same bed and type of painting, and we see their characters that are unique and customizable. And maybe it works like Minecraft. Both have to sleep for day to come again and to rest, and maybe they regain energy and things like that. On the next screenshot, we see another snow hill and snow mountain. We see two different animals. We see a mammoth that looks really cool. His horns look really interesting. And we see a penguin attacking Pixie. Or maybe he is just really a friendly penguin and he's just trying to give her a hug. Maybe. All of the characters in this game kind of look like caricatures because this style just makes him look really funny, but I really like how this looks. On the following screenshot, we see one of those stone yetis again, and we see Pixie there chopping what appears to be like coconuts or something like that. The map looks really interesting. As you can see, it arches up all the way up, and there's these weird mountains, and right to the left there, we see the awesome draw distance fade out, fading to blue, and it looks really, really good. It reminds me of when it's early in the morning and you see that fog taking over everything. Also, just a bit to the right there, you see an orange tree. And the tree to the right is very interesting. It's not just the puff of green over a brown log. Also, the tree to the right has a whitish log and light green leaves. We're on higher heels now, and let's move on to the next screenshot. This is probably a screenshot that was taken shortly after they discovered the gold deposit, because as you can see, it kind of looks like that's the gold deposit down there. And I wanted to show the screenshot to you guys just so you could see the intricateness of the caves. If there was any physics engine in this game, maybe if you stomped hard on this, it would collapse and kill you or something. Actually, that would be interesting. I wonder how fall damage works in this game. If there is a way to counter it, maybe you can shield glide like you do on King Arthur's Gold. Maybe there are bottomless pits, and maybe there are checkpoints so that you go to there when you die. I don't know. On the next screenshot, we see just a bit of a different type of biome that you'll be able to see a lot better on the next screenshot. We see another parrot, and we see that Wooly is locked onto him. As you can see, Wooly is right at the bottom of the image, and you can see just his bow and a bit of his hair, I think. Does that mean that the game is going to have different perspectives? Maybe you can switch from third-person view to first-person view? Or maybe it's just because he's up against the wall and the camera can't just focus correctly, but maybe, who knows. On the next screenshot, you see this brand new type of biome that looks really swampy and jungly. You see that the trees all have vines on them, and on the background, right far off to the distance, they also have a lot of vines, and they are really, really tall. You can see that we have a bunch of satyr flies, or satyr flies. They still have those type of wings that the hornets have, and they look quite interesting. As you can see, they're very weak, 125 of health. They apparently attack in swarms. As you can see, there are 3 of them on the same place. And this is the Harlick Forest, whereas the previous one was higher hills. Moving on to the last 2 screenshots, as you can see, mana power. And they're on an ice planet, and this is from a different gameplay session, so their characters are different as well. These 2 screenshots were posted on Twitter, so let's go. As you can see, they have mana power now, and there are 2 different bars. On the center, on the hot bar, you can see that the once orange bar is now pinkish, and on the left there, you can see that there is MP, so no SP for spirit points, but now there are mana points. This screenshot is a bit older than the ones that I've just been showing you, so maybe the hotbar gauge is actually orange now, but I don't know exactly how the gauge management is going to work, because on the screenshots that I've just shown you, there is no mana power anywhere. Moving on to the final screenshot of the day, we have a giant rune, or rune giant. If you remember, to the exit of every dungeon, there was a rune stone, and this has the exact same name, and if you remember the stones, you can watch them on the first discussing Cube World video. This guy has the same spiral looking thing on his chest, so maybe these are some sort of defenders of dungeons. Maybe you have to kill them before you enter the dungeon. Wooly is playing alone right now because there is no one on his team, and he has an epic orange beard, which reminds me of Jack, and he has an epic sword. As you can see right to the side of the stone giant, he is destroying the ground, which begs the question again, can we rebuild the ground? Does it grow again? I know we can't build, but I wonder if it just grows back or if it's permanently damaged. Right to the left there, we see some epic trees, and on the center of the image, on the mountain, that kind of looks like a shark to me. And that brings me— wait a second! I was procrastinating when I was editing the audio, and I found 2 new screenshots. This is the first one. Apparently, first-person view is confirmed and is a thing that's coming to the game. Apparently, I was right. Who knew? And the next screenshot is this one. It's Pixie, who I've also found out is named Sarah and is Wooly's wife. She's fighting a sea crab over here, and it looks gigantic, and apparently she's underwater fighting, so maybe she needs rocket boots, or you just sink down, but I can't see any oxygen gauge. Maybe that's the blue one, I have no idea. And I've also just read that spirit points apparently are gone, which sucks. I actually really like that idea. And that brings me to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it was helpful to you, make sure to watch my other discussing Cube World videos. This is the third one, as you can see by the title, of course. And if you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And to be notified of whenever I make a new video, just make sure to subscribe to my channel. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope you're having a great day. Until my next video, goodbye!